Hi everyone, I'm Gabe and this is Grizzly Ginger Disc Golf. Last week I talked about how I practice putting and some of the things I learned through that practice. This week I'm going to focus on field work and how I practice my drive, as well as some videos that made things really click for me mentally. When I started doing field work, I was super obsessed with distance. I would measure every throw with an app on my phone, and then when I got the measuring wheel and cones, I would mark out distances from 100 to 300 feet in increments of 50 and throw at those. Because I was so obsessed with distance, I was trying to throw really hard, which caused a lot of rounding, a host of other issues, and whenever I was done with a session, my arm and my shoulder would hurt really badly just because I was trying to muscle through with my arm. Now when I do field work, I pick one or two things to focus on with my form and slow way down to make sure I'm throwing smoothly. After all, slow is smooth, and smooth is far. That's something a lot of people with a lot of experience usually say, but as a beginner at my skill level, it takes like 2 to 3 repetitions of just saying that to myself before every throw, before it actually sinks in. In addition to working on smooth form, I'm looking for control. Discs flying on the line that I set them on. This helps me with in-round disc selection and shot selection, just knowing how each of my discs flies in different situations. Only when my form is smooth and I'm consistently hitting lines will I break out the cones, and even then I'm still trying to keep the focus on my form, and just see how far I'm throwing without pushing my distance barrier. When I do this, I can usually outdrive myself trying to throw really hard by 40 to 60 feet or more. If I have a particularly good throw when I'm not using the cones, I'll pull up UDisc and measure it, but that's about it. So before you do field work, I find it's best to get a form critique. Find an experienced player with good form and good teaching skills. Have them watch how you throw and take their advice. You can also record yourself and post it to Reddit, or send that recording to someone you think is reputable, like Danny Lindahl. Danny gave me a great critique and a couple of things to work on, which have already yielded much more control and distance in my drives. Once you have a form critique, go watch Danny's videos on upper body timing, weight shift, his pro versus am form comparison. The concept in these videos will make a lot more sense when you know what's going on with your own form and what you're going to do about how to fix it. I totally didn't get pulling the disc into your chest and keeping a high elbow until I saw Danny mention that your arm-shoulder angle should be 90 degrees at the peak of your reach back and then should only get bigger from there. That helped out a lot. When you do go out to the field, slow down. Take 1 or 2 movements, like pulling the disc to your chest or turning your hips with your brace step, and do those slowly 4 to 5 times. Then do a couple of slow motion practice throws, and only after you practice that smooth form should you throw. You're going to need some acceleration at the end, but keep it smooth. I'm still throwing just under about 300 feet, sometimes a little over. I'm kind of pushing that back a little. But I usually just take 1 brace step and throw, especially Danny's 1-step drill. I had just started using a run-up whenever I gave him the video for the form critique, but it was introducing way too many variables with my throw, and throwing a standstill is really just one more way of slowing down. That's all I have for this video. This is the last video of what I think of as the boring stuff that I want to lay out, so if I reference what I'm doing in later videos, I don't have to put up a wall of text in the comments and reference that later. In my next video, I'm going to examine a couple of videos that are often recommended to beginners that have actually caused me some problems, and some alternatives to those videos that I think work a lot better. As always, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you want more frequent updates, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GGDiscGolf. If you don't like this video, tell me why. I'm always looking for ways to improve. Until next time, remember, everyone was a beginner once.